y'all, it's me, Jaquela Morris, and I am on here with another video. And this is my YouTube channel, Yapping with a Purpose, and this will be session 4. And Yapping with a Purpose is just me on here telling my perspective on life as a young adult. I'm 24, and life's been a little, life been lifing, but you know, it's all gonna work out for my good. You know, everything is a learning experience. Not everything is gonna go my way all the time, and you know, I'm just dealing with it. I'm kind of spoiled, I ain't gonna lie. I don't like when stuff don't go my way. I don't like to hear no. I don't like for things not to work out, but I mean, who does? But you know, that's part of being an adult, taking them no's and you keep going anyway. And sometimes a no is protection, rejection is protection. So you just gotta roll with the punches, go with the flow. And so today, session 4, I'm gonna be talking about how I grew up in church and where I am now and all of that kind of processes. And so I grew up in church. I've been in church like my whole life, really. I grew up going to a Baptist church. Love that church. Love the Baptist church down, okay, and love the music, the preaching, the traditions in there. It's just, you know, come to church, get your praise on, hear a word, go to the altar, you know, fellowship. You know, they always have an event where they're gonna have some refreshments in the in the fellowship hall. They can get down there, it's some fried chicken, green beans, a corn, and a roll, and a soda. And it depends on who brought the sodas. If you're gonna get, you know, a Dr. Pepper or a Dr. Pep or Dr. Thunder. Okay, but then you also know you can't eat everybody's food. That's just something you can't do. You know, who made this? This is store-bought. Because I'll trust something. I will trust something out the store. I'm not gonna lie. And I love a good pound cake. You know what? We getting off track. We getting off track already. But, you know, fellowshipping is very important at church, because coming to the church, hearing what you need to hear and leaving is not that efficient in your walk with Christ. There's just something I know from personal experience, and I'm gonna talk about that a little later, because we still in the beginning of my story of going to church. Okay, so I got baptized at 7. I did not know what that meant. I just knew that everybody was eating the cracker and drinking the grape juice. And I was like, yeah, I want to participate in communion every first Sunday. So I was like, yes, I'm going to go get baptized. And when I got baptized, I came out the water. They asked me, are you a wet devil or are you a dry devil? I'm like, wet, because I just came out the water. They're like, no. I was like, okay, well, it's only one other option. I'm like, dry. They're like, nope. I was like, you know what? Why would y'all ask me the question if neither one of those are right? And they're like, nope, you're a child of God. I was like, okay, why didn't we just give me that answer choice? Because I'm 7. It's yes or no, or A or B, okay? I'm not thinking, nah, it's something else. First of all, I don't know what the baptism really was meaning, okay? I just know I wanted to do the crackers and the juice. So I just feel like getting baptized at 7, not really knowing what that meant, means I need to get baptized again now that I know God for myself. I'm not sure when that time will be coming, but I feel it up on me. I do. I really do. And so I got a little older. I switched church. They had a youth program or a youth ministry, so we would go on Saturdays. I was the president, so I was like the oldest, one of the oldest, and So I would lead like devotion, do the scripture, a prayer. I never wanted to lead no song though because I was incredibly shy. Yes, I was. And so I was part of the youth choir and the youth ushering. Eventually, I did not want to be in the choir anymore because, like I said, I was very shy, and they was trying to get me to sing a solo. I'm like, I can harmonize in the background, but singing a solo is just something I don't want to do. Now, as I am a little older, I'm still not sure about singing no solo because I really can't sing. But like I learned, it's not even about if you can sing. It's about, singing for the Lord. But come on now. We been in church and it's like, the people don't sound good. It's just unfortunate. But I know you can make a joyful noise for the Lord, but come on now. Come on. And like, I mean, you got to get your praise on, but I don't want to be the center of attention and I'm giving mediocre vocals for the Lord. There's got to be a better way I can praise him. I mean, it's not even about the skill, it's about your heart posture. So my heart wasn't even in it. So, and plus I would be nervous, I'm shy. I don't want to do it. It's not going to be my best praise. It wasn't going to be my best praise. And that's just not fair to me and the Lord. Seriously. So I stopped doing choir. I just stuck to ushering. And then as I got older, I moved away, went to college. So I was in college. I did not have a church near the college, but I would come home pretty often, every other weekend or so. And I would go to church when I was back at home. But then eventually I stopped going back home as much. But the COVID hit and I had to go home. So I was at church pretty often. But I wasn't there because I wanted to be like, in a way, like I was there because that's what I always did on Sundays. So I would go to church and I would go home. And just life would just be life. I would still be doing what I wanted to do. Not that I was doing too many bad things because I was a good kid. Okay, I was a good kid. But I wasn't in my word. I didn't have the knowledge of the Lord. Everything I did was not in his image. Okay. But I was pretty good kid. I didn't get in trouble too much. But that is not the same thing as being a good Christian. So I would just go to church. But probably wasn't even paying too much attention up in there. Have sleep, and then I would go home. And that was just something I was doing because it's something that I had already been doing. Like that's all I knew to do on Sundays. Go to church, maybe go eat, go home, and that was it. And so I had got a job and I had to work on Sundays. And so basically I was working all day, so I did not have to go to church on the days I had to work on Sundays. And that didn't even bother me. I was like, I'll go to church whenever I'm off on the Sundays. But so back then I was young and I wasn't as in tune with my walk in my relationship with the Lord as I am now. So having a job that would take me away from being able to go to church on Sundays just would not do. I'm just saying. So look at my card, what I had on here next. And so I'm going to talk about how I went to a couple of church conferences. Okay. Church conferences were you're around people your age. And I went to my first one. It was in Atlanta. It was at the Marriott, and it was lots of black people. I think it was a Baptist conference, and I remember the message was talking about vision and not hoping for what somebody else wanted because you don't know what they're going through behind closed doors. And that's been like a repetitive thing, going through some messages and stuff, stop wishing for what other people have, because you don't know what they had to do to get it. And what is for you is gonna be for you. And because everybody has their own thing. What's for you is gonna be for you. So let that sink in. And then the second one I went to was in Austin. I was a little older. I think I was like 16, 17. And that message there, we had there was like another message too. I might be even mixing these up. It's been so long. I'm not gonna lie. To 2015 and 2016 or 17, and it's 2025. But there was a message at one of these conferences. I'm thinking this was Austin, where they had like a Jenga, and they was like pulling out the things, and then it eventually fell over, and then they start rebuilding it. And it was like, sometimes you think stuff is falling apart when it's falling together, because now you taking out all the bad things, now you broken down, and now you can be rebuilt back up stronger. Go ahead, wrap that up. I believe I was at a good stopping point, and that's maybe not, but I think I like a church conference. I think I like going on a trip that is centered around giving time to God, you know, surrounding yourself by other believers. So I think like a church conference is a great experience. You know, surround yourself with other people, hear other perspectives, see different traditions in different churches. And it's like, this reminds us that we are all a part of the body, even if we are doing things a little differently. Okay. So I really don't like talking about this part. But like, and when I was in high school and like learning history and science, it was hard for me to like believe what was in the Bible, because I'm like, well, I'm learning this over here in school and the Bible is saying this. I'm like, some ain't adding up to me. So like some of the stories in the Bible, I was like, man, that could not have happened. But that was me seeing it through my eyes, not the Lord's eyes. Because now I believe that, you know, with the Lord, anything is possible. He's capable of all things. So humans may not be capable of all things, but the Lord, God, Jesus, is capable of all things. And I didn't really truly fully believe that at that age when I was having all those doubts. But once I started really truly believing, I'm like, okay, that makes sense that he could be able to do that. It's like, that story is a great example of his power. So it's just like, let's look back to say, you can tell people who are non-believers things, but they won't believe you unless they know it, for they know him for themselves. So it's like the parables. Jesus telling the parables, and it wouldn't make any sense to people looking on the outside, but people who have knowledge, who trust him, follow him, they're able to understand what he's trying to say. And this is what I wanted to say on it, because I did have that struggle. And there's still some things I don't like struggle with believing, but it's like, people used to live to be 900 years old. It's like, you split the Red Sea. Like, there wasn't no rain for years upon years upon years. And then you tell somebody that they need to prepare for a flood and they've never seen rain. Like, the amount of faith that takes, and the things Like, he can move heaven and earth. Like, he rose from the dead, he brought people back from the dead, heal people with the touch of your garment. Like, that is beyond me, what I believe you can do. And it's just amazing. And that's just, I'm so grateful somebody is out there with that kind of power who loves me, looking out for me, created me before I even knew who I was. Even knew who I was. You know, it's just, I mean, But I want to come back around to how I was like in college, not as involved in church. So when I was at home, I did church. I did school online, so I was able to go to church whenever I didn't have to work. But when I was at school on campus for the second time, I really wasn't on campus, but I was at school in Denton, and I didn't have a church home, and I wasn't coming home as much, so I was not going to church. But I would on Sundays dedicate it to listening to gospel. And that was church for me, because in my mind that was church. And it certainly wasn't. Like, I did not forget about God. I prayed. I listened to my gospel. Anytime things went wrong, God was the first person I hit up. But I wasn't really feeling connected, as I was only listening to gospel and praying. So I wasn't really being a good Christian. I wasn't really exercising my faith, my knowledge, my wisdom, none of that. But until things started really getting out of control, and I was like, you know what, I cannot handle this on my own. So that's when I really started leaning into God. And I was like, yep. And then I started getting little taps, getting the little thoughts. I was like, you need to find a church. You need to find a church. And I also needed some friends, and because I was basically by myself. And so I prayed for friends, met my friends, got invited to church, went to church, started going to church more often, started going to like the groups they had, having my friends. They're both on their journeys, so I gained community, got church, started taking my relationship with God more seriously, and just getting more involved with church. Because when I graduated, I came back home and I started getting more involved I started going to the church that I was coming to at home more. But I would go to church, get the word, and be the first person out the parking lot. Seriously. But then I was like, that's not really, I was like, I'm not feeling connected to the church, because I'm just going in there, getting the word and leaving, like not talking to nobody. It's like that fellowship and community is very important. Like, you can go to church, but you have to be in the church. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, the church I go to is small enough so they notice, like, if you haven't been there in a couple of weeks, they get the call and they're like, where you at? We ain't seen you at church. Are you okay? What's going on? Or you come back, they're like, where you been? We ain't seen you in 2 Sundays. Okay? Or you see you like, where your mom at? She ain't been here. Is she okay? Things like that. That's very important in the church. And so I started going to Sunday school because I wanted to know more about like the Bible, and start getting more into my word, because there's like some Bible stories that you learn in like vacation Bible school, but like I don't really know all the Bible stories. I don't really know Well, first and foremost is I didn't take my Bible to church because it takes me too long to find the chapter. So that was like a big sign. It's like, you need to get in this word because you should be able to know. As long as I've been in church, I should know where certain chapters are in the book. But I still don't know where those chapters are, and I have the tabs on there. Thankful for those tabs because it just takes me way too long. I do need to learn the order of those chapters. But as long as I'm reading the word, I don't have to be too hard on myself about that. But I started going to Sunday school. I started getting involved. Like, I was going to Sunday school. I would bring, nobody even asked me, I would bring little snacks, little breakfast snacks, granola bar, donuts, or whatever, and apple juice, orange juice, so for the Sunday school people. And that was very much appreciated, for sure. But then they started talking about they wanted me to start leading the Sunday school lesson. I was like, ooh, me? I don't even know, I don't think I'm the best person for that. But I did learn. That just because I didn't think I was qualified don't mean it wasn't my calling. It's like God will call you to something that you don't think you're qualified, but if He called you to it, He will provide the means for you to be able to do it. So, but I did not end up teaching the Sunday school class because y'all, I don't go to the church anymore. I'm in between finding me a church because I'm in a transitional space in my life right now. So I do have a church that I go to. I have churches that I tune into live. When I go out of town, I have a church I go to. Well, when I go to Dallas, I have a church I go to. And so, yeah, like, I'm not committed to a church at this time, unfortunately. And I think I have it. I've been praying about it and trying to find me a church home. But I'm at a place that's uncertain for me. But I'm trusting God to lead me and guide me to where I'm supposed to be. And so, I'm not trying to make any drastic decisions. Because I'm not sure about anything right now. It's like I don't even know if I want to be living here where I live now. Unless God started for like a short period of time. But like I said, I'm in a transitionary period. Is transitionary a word? Transition. I want to say transition. So I do have a church. I'm doing Bible study. I'm in my word every day. Well, I'm trying to be in my word every day. Some days I have missed some days, but I am. I'm on days that I miss reading the Bible. I am watching sermons. Just staying charged up throughout the whole week because just doing it on Sunday is it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Okay. So what is that thing? Coming back. Okay, I already talked about that. What was I? No. What is that? What I wrote for my. Okay. So I pretty much touched on everything that I wanted to touch on. And yeah, so like coming from somebody who grew up in the church, kind of brushing church to the side, and coming back. That's just what this video is about. So hopefully that encourages other people who also grew up in the church and stepped out a little bit and decided to come back and have a closer relationship with God, and get more involved in church. Because I know some people are like, I don't need to go to church. I can just watch a sermon at home. I can read my Bible, but that's the church is. And I understand why some people might not want to go to church, or things that happen and how the church can be toxic, or the behaviors in there are not attractive. That is something, because if I go to a church and the usher, I speak and say good morning to the usher and she don't say nothing back, she don't give me no smile, then I'm probably not coming to that church anymore, because you're an usher. You are the first person people see. You need to be inviting and welcome. Nobody want to come to no church and people not welcoming. Nobody want to come to a church and everybody gossiping about everybody. You're gonna come to a church and people talking about your outfit and what you got on. Just certain things like that. But I mean, it is important to what you wear to church is it's like a sign of respect, and there are certain things that shouldn't be worn, but also that can be a distraction. Like, we can like gently correct people, and hopefully they're open to the criticism, or the correction, and take note of it and not be offended by it. So there's like a way of doing things, but but and that's just like I was telling my mom the other day, because my nephew wanted to wear some shorts to church. He liked wearing shorts. It's just like, yeah, you can't wear shorts to church. Nobody wears shorts to church. And I was telling her, I was like, that's why young people are not trying to come to church, because y'all are worrying about the wrong things. Like, what's wrong with him wearing shorts to church? And that's my personal opinion. I feel like you should be able to wear shorts to church. It's, they have a belt loop. He can put a belt on, and they're like dress shorts. And it's getting hot. It's Texas. Why can't he wear shorts? But that's just how I feel about it, and I just feel like certain things like that are what keep people out of church, like the major policing. But like I said, that's what I wanted to talk about. How I grew up in the church, left for a minute, and how I came back to where I am now. Thank God I had the knowledge instilled in me at a young age, and I was able to come back around to it. Because baby, without, man, you searching for something. You are looking for something when you need something. And if you feel like you can't do stuff by yourself, you are searching for something. That's how people who was neglected in their childhood, or not shown as much love, get out there and they're searching for love in the wrong places. Or you stressed and you go searching for something to make you feel better. You might find alcohol, drugs, a person, things like that temporary relief. But luckily I have the knowledge, and that foundation of leaning on to God when I needed to go, a place to go, a person to confide in, because it's that's very serious. But yeah, that's session 4, y'all. Stay tuned for session 5, and I'm also posting Bible studies on here when I do my personal Bible studies. And right now I'm in Proverbs, and I will be back with another video, session 5. I don't know what it's gonna be about, but stay tuned. Thank y'all for watching. Like and subscribe, And I also have Yapping with a Purpose. I'm on TikTok and Facebook, and I'm posting throughout the week, encouraging things, Bible knowledge, practical knowledge, just sharing my day-to-day, all that kind of stuff. So if y'all want to tune in to more of that, it's Yapping with a Purpose on Facebook and TikTok, and on Instagram it's just my name, Jaquela Morris. And yeah, thank y'all for watching.